and welcome back to another episode of On the Couch with Nikki, where I bring you experts for expats. This episode is proudly brought to you by Expat Dental, who offer convenient appointment times in the early morning, evening and on Saturdays. So, who's with me on the couch today? I have Max CHUA, who is an electrical and electronic engineer, here to talk about the harmful effects of wireless radiation. He's also the founder of CHUA, a Singapore-based company offering solutions to your household. Let's have a chat. Obviously, wireless radiation is everywhere. It's out in the streets, it's in other buildings, but it's also in our home.
Yes.
What are the items in our house that we need to be aware of that are emitting these wireless radiations?
Yeah. From your mobile phone, your wireless router, baby monitors, and also microwave oven, for example, they are also emitting a strong source of microwave or wireless radiation. By reducing those exposure, which means that you can cable most of these things as much as possible, then you will not get so much of the wireless radiation in your home.
Cabling. What do you mean by cabling? I know that we can cable the internet.
Yes.
What else can we cable?
For example, our router, you can use Ethernet cable. You can activate or deactivate the wireless as and when you want. There's such device available in the market.
What are some practical steps we can take in the home to reduce the wireless radiation?
Yeah, just take mobile phone for example. If you are not using some of the function like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, you can actually deactivate it, because people are not aware that a mobile phone has several antennas. Like they have antennas for Bluetooth, for Wi-Fi, for mobile phone signals, and for GPS.
Yes.
So if you deactivate something while you're not using it, you will definitely reduce the amount of exposure dramatically. Yeah.
Okay, so the Wi-Fi, we can switch that off. The Bluetooth, we can switch that off. I think mobile people will pretty much have them on all day. How much of a difference do you think it would make if we were to remember to switch off Wi-Fi when we don't need it?
When it comes to this, it is a cumulative effect. So if you have all this antenna on, obviously you have magnified exposure compared to have only one. So I will highly encourage that if you are not using those, try to limit those antennas just to keep it off. WHO, World Health Organization, has classified this form of radiation as possibly class 2B carcinogen, and people are not even aware of this. What does it mean? It is classified under the same category as lead, DDT, car exhaust, and chloroform. We would not want to expose our children with those kind of things, but yet we are actually exposing them to this wireless radiation. Yeah.
And this is where we are in the world. With technology and everything that's progressing, we are in a wireless society. So there's only so much that we can do, but on a household level, at the very least, we can take steps to reducing the emissions. And for those people, our neighbours or organisations outside of our home that we can take steps to protect ourselves and insulate ourselves from that as well.
Yeah, that is true. That's why I'm saying that start with your home. It's a place that is within your control. Keep it long, especially the place that you sleep.
Does it have an effect on our sleep, having Wi-Fi on overnight?
Yes, there have been studies that known that wireless radiation has known to impede the release of this melatonin.
Okay, so turn the phone off, but some people like their phone on. At the very least, turn the Wi-Fi off so that calls can still come through if they need to.
So when it comes to wireless radiation, a very easy tips that people can use is keep it as far as possible, because we used to say distance is your friend. A further distance that you go, the amount of radiation that you've been exposed is greatly minimized. Yeah, so you can keep your phone on, but put it in a further away from you. You put it on airplane mode. Yeah, airplane mode works. Yeah, and you can still have your alarm clock that still runs on it. So if you were to put it close to you, I suggest that you put it to airplane mode. Yeah.
So there would be a concern now that there are children that are on the phone, on their iPads, on devices. What effect is this going to have to our children growing up?
Yeah, the effect on the children will be definitely much greater compared to adults, because there are studies out there that shows that for babies or for younger children, the absorption rate of such wireless radiation is double. So I think it will have a lot of impact on the younger ones.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is there are children on devices, there are babies on devices, there are devices everywhere. So it's not going to be a matter of eradicating it. In my mind, it's a bit of a runaway train. What are the small steps that we can do for children to protect them?
For example, for those wireless devices like iPads or phones, you can actually download a lot of these programs into it, store it, and actually you can play it out in an airplane mode. Yeah, you can just play it out.
Right.
Record instead of using a wireless connectivity and show it to them.
So a lot of the games can be downloaded so that it doesn't use Wi-Fi. So
Correct.
if you can just turn your devices, especially with your children, into aeroplane mode, this will at least help. As a result of your own personal journey and feeling the benefits of reducing the wireless radiation in your own home, you decided to form your own company to offer solutions to other people. What sort of solutions do you have?
My solution is very much focused on external radiation,
Okay.
mainly from neighbors or
Yes.
from nearby cell phone tower. Those are the things that you are not able to control. You simply cannot ask them to shut the thing down.
Yes.
So with that itself, the solution that I offered is on the shielding. It can be in the form of a shielding fabrics. It can be in the form of a special shielding paint, or it can be in the form of a special shielding window film for the windows. So those will help to reduce the amount of radiation coming from external into your home. Yeah.
If wireless radiation presented itself visibly, like smog or haze, or even something that we could smell, everybody would be aware of it, and you'd be constantly exposed to it and probably feel a bit more vehemently about protecting ourselves. When something's completely invisible, you really have to keep reminding yourself that it's even there.
Our body, it's true, we are not be able to detect all these things, but some of us, when you started to develop some symptoms, you started to feel numbness. So those are also a little bit of symptoms already showing, tingling sensation. And more and more people that I come in contact, more and more of my customers or clients, I'm surprised to know that actually there are quite a number of people that is actually sensitive to this. They are known as hypersensitive people. Yeah, so they are very sensitive to wireless radiation. When there's too much of those, they even have rashes.
So somebody can have more of a predisposition to it,
Yes.
to being affected by it, than someone else. If I went to a doctor, would they say, have you looked at the wireless radiation in your household?
Unfortunately, the mainstream medical are not taking this fact. Yeah, I have customers, expert customers who show symptoms of neck pain where she sleeps. After evaluation, I realized that actually it was actually a source that come from a neighbor.
Wow.
So what I do is actually go to another room of hers, which is a very low level, and she just asked her to go to the other room to rest. And she did that, and a couple of weeks later, all her symptoms are gone, and she went back to the GP and tell them that you told me to do MRI, all those expensive things,
Yeah.
but none of them tell me it could be just EMF. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
so it's an easy starting point for people who have any sort of physical affliction. Let's just start with reducing the wireless emissions in your household and see how that goes.
Yes.
And you can come and do an assessment in somebody's house to
Sure.
look at the radiation levels.
Yes. This is what I do. Yeah.
So even the new earbuds that have been brought out instead of the plug-in headset, is that not ideal? Is it better to go plug in than the buds?
Yes, I will highly recommend a cabled phone compared to earbuds, which is wireless devices. Actually,
Okay.
it's activated by Bluetooth. Yeah. So
Even those Bluetooth headsets that
Yes.
kids watch TV with, or their devices also?
Correct.
Okay. You can come, you can assess, you can tell somebody what their household is doing in terms of wireless emissions, and then you can advise on products, reputable products, that will actually do the job properly to protect people and their families.
Yes.
You do it with a machine? You come in, is there a machine that
Yeah,
you...
it's a portable detector, microwave detector. On top of measuring the microwave radiation, the other aspect of it is mainly the electrical radiation that comes from electrical appliances. For those form of radiation emitted from electrical appliances, they can be very easily dealt with by just, again, distance. for example, your socket, the multi-point socket, people like to put it very close to where they work. There are many of these connectors. Just put it further away, maybe about 2 foot away. It will.
Even a power board that you plug in your appliances, that's also dangerous.
Yes, those form of radiation is not wireless, but it's the radiation coming from electrical appliances.
Can you do assessments in businesses as well?
Yes, I do access to business
in office places
as well. Yeah.
Wow, so it's kind of like the modern day feng shui. What I mean is it can make a huge difference how offices are configured and where they put their electronic devices.
Yes.
In terms of proximity to workers, for example, to protect the health of staff. Thank you so much for coming in today. I think it's a very scary topic, but one that we need to be aware of.
Thank you very much for having me, Nikki.
Wow, what an eye-opener. This is a really scary topic. Obviously, we're not going to be getting rid of Wi-Fi in any great hurry. It's convenient, it's part of our life. But at least know the hazards associated with it and what you can do to protect you and your family. Call CHUA, get your office or your house assessed, and take steps to protect those around you. Thanks, everyone.